The story begins with Rose, a married woman living with her husband Harold and their son Tom. One night, Rose gets up for some water. On her way back, she notices Ian, her best friend Lil's 21-year-old son, sleeping in the guest room. She stops and stares at him. Then, Ian suddenly wakes up. Embarrassed, Rose quickly wishes him good night and leaves. The next morning, Harold leaves for Sydney on a work trip. After he leaves, Rose starts feeling strangely lonely. Later, she goes to the beach and finds Ian sitting there alone. They exchange a few quiet looks, and neither of them can ignore the attraction growing between them. That evening, both families have dinner together. While everyone is having fun, Rose and Ian secretly exchange glances. Later that night, Rose meets Ian in the hallway. She asks if he needs anything. Ian suddenly leans forward and kisses her. Rose freezes for a moment. Then, she kisses him back. But neither of them realizes that someone is about to discover their secret. Later that night, Tom suddenly wakes up. He notices Ian is missing from the guest room and goes looking for him. Then he sees Rose stepping out of Ian's room, partially dressed. Tom freezes. He can't believe what he's seeing. The person he trusted most, his best friend, and his own mother have betrayed him. He leaves the house and spends the night alone at the beach, trying to process everything. The next morning, Tom goes to Lil's house. He tells her he doesn't want to move to Sydney with his father anymore because he feels responsible for taking care of his mother. Then he finally reveals the truth. He saw Rose coming out of Ian's room. Lil is completely stunned. When Tom returns home, he refuses to even speak to Ian. Their friendship is shattered. Meanwhile, Lil can't stop thinking about what her son and her best friend have done. That night, Tom is overwhelmed with anger and confusion. He asks Lil if he can stay at her house. She agrees. But later that night, something happens between them that changes the situation completely. The next morning, Lil wakes up and finds Tom beside her. When Tom returns home, Rose asks where he spent the night. Tom looks at her and says, "I did the same thing with Lil that you did with Ian." Rose is furious. She slaps him, but almost immediately guilt takes over. Deep down, she knows she has no right to judge him. Later, Rose meets Lil and admits that both of them have crossed a dangerous line. They agree that the relationships need to end before everything gets destroyed. Lil then talks to Ian, but Ian refuses to let Rose go. He admits that he's deeply in love with her. Meanwhile, Rose tells herself that ending things is the right decision. When Ian later comes to see her, Rose firmly tells him it's over. Ian tries to kiss her. This time, Rose refuses. Heartbroken, Ian walks away. But once he's gone, Rose realizes she can't stop thinking about him, and soon she follows him.
Rose finds Ian alone in his room, staring out at the ocean. She tries to convince herself that ending things is the right choice, but the moment Ian moves closer, Rose gives in. They kiss and their secret relationship begins again. Days pass. Rose and Lil start talking openly about their situations. Surprisingly, both women admit they feel happier and more alive than they have in years. Lil even suggests they should stop worrying and simply continue their relationships. But Rose reminds her of the painful truth. One day, they'll find women their own age, and when that happens, they could both be left behind. Still, neither woman is ready to let go. Then, Harold suddenly returns home from Sydney. Rose tries to act like everything is normal, but she can't stop thinking about Ian. And when Harold leaves again, Rose immediately returns to her secret life. But soon, the tension between Ian and Tom finally explodes. The two former friends get into a physical fight, and now their secret relationships are impossible to hide.
After the fight, everyone gathers for lunch. The atmosphere is painfully awkward. Nobody speaks, nobody smiles. Ian keeps looking at Rose, while Tom keeps staring at Lil. Then suddenly, Ian breaks the silence. He looks at Rose and boldly says, "I'll be waiting for you in your room." At the exact same moment, Tom says the same thing to Lil. The two young men walk away. Rose and Lil look at each other, and instead of being shocked, they simply smile. Their secret relationships continue. For a while, all four convince themselves that this strange arrangement can actually last forever. Then one day, a man named Sam visits Lil. He has serious feelings for her and asks her to marry him, but Lil turns him down. She has become comfortable with her life and doesn't want anyone else. Meanwhile, Tom receives a job opportunity in Sydney from his father. Ian encourages him to accept it. Tom finally agrees and moves to Sydney. There, he meets a young woman named Mary, and for the first time, Lil begins to fear that she may actually lose Tom. Tom settles into his new life in Sydney. While working there, he meets Mary. The two quickly become close. One day, Tom calls Lil and casually tells her about Mary. He even says he's invited her over for dinner. Lil pretends to be happy for him, but inside, she's devastated. For the first time, she realizes Rose may have been right. Tom could actually move on. Back home, Rose continues seeing Ian. One evening, Rose, Ian, and Lil go out together to cheer Lil up. But Lil can't stop thinking about Tom. The next morning, she looks at herself in the mirror and begins wondering if Tom left because she's getting older. Then, unexpectedly, Tom returns home. The moment Lil sees him, all her sadness disappears. They meet at the beach and share a passionate kiss. For a moment, it feels like nothing has changed, but Tom is hiding something. During a family dinner, he suddenly steps away to answer a phone call. It's Mary, and Lil immediately realizes she may have already lost him. Soon after, Harold arrives with unexpected news. He introduces Mary to the family. Lil immediately realizes that this is the woman she was afraid of. That night, everyone attends Tom's birthday party. Lil watches as Tom dances with Mary and spends more time with her. Her heart breaks. Later, Tom promises Lil that he'll take Mary back to her hotel and return, but he never comes back. Instead, he spends the night with Mary. Lil waits for him until morning. By sunrise, she's completely devastated. Rose finds her heartbroken, and Lil finally admits, "The thing I feared has happened. I'm losing him." Then comes the news that destroys her completely. Tom announces that he's going to marry Mary. Ian can't understand how Tom can simply move on, but Lil stays silent, because deep down she always knew this day would come. And now Rose makes a painful decision of her own. She decides to end things with Ian. Months later, Tom and Mary get married. Everyone attends the wedding, but almost nobody looks happy. During the celebration, Rose notices Ian dancing with another young woman. Seeing him with someone else hurts more than she expected. That night, Ian comes to Rose's door, but Rose refuses to answer. Ian walks away heartbroken. The next morning, tragedy strikes. While swimming in the ocean, Ian suffers a serious accident and is rushed to the hospital. Rose and Lil immediately go to see him. Rose waits outside, hoping Ian will ask for her, but when Lil tells him Rose is there, Ian refuses to see her. Instead, another young woman named Hina begins helping him during his recovery. Over time, Ian and Hina fall in love. Years pass. Tom and Ian both become fathers and start families of their own. It seems like the past is finally behind them, but it isn't. One day, Tom secretly reunites with Lil. Despite everything that happened, their old feelings never truly disappeared. But Ian discovers them together. Furious, he confronts Rose and exposes all the secrets that have been hidden for years. Mary learns about Tom and Lil. Hina learns about Ian and Rose. Suddenly, everything falls apart. Both women are devastated. Rose blames Ian for destroying their lives, but Ian doesn't care anymore. He believes everyone has been lying for far too long. Later, Rose confronts Lil. She asks her directly, "Are you still seeing Tom?" Lil finally admits the truth. She confesses that she has loved Tom ever since shortly after his marriage, and she never stopped. Rose is left completely speechless. After all these years, the same cycle has started again. Eventually, the tension between them begins to fade. Rose, Ian, Tom, and Lil finally sit together by the ocean. Years of love, jealousy, betrayal, and heartbreak have changed all of them. They've hurt each other, they've lost people they loved, and yet somehow they remain connected. As they sit quietly beside the sea, the story comes to an end. A story about forbidden love, complicated relationships, and the consequences of choices that can never truly be undone. What did you think of this movie? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Soul of Cinema for more movie recaps. Thanks for watching.